evening and thanks for tuning in. I'm Jenna Budell with the WJTS News. A manhunt regarding a Perry County man has been called off. The Perry County Sheriff's Office says that 37-year-old Mark Grisby, a suspect involved in several crimes across multiple counties, was believed to be given a ride out of the area, possibly heading towards Crawford County. Despite the manhunt being called off, if anyone sees Grisby, they are to call 911. A Huntingburg resident was put behind bars after driving while intoxicated. Tuesday night, Jasper police officers saw a vehicle driving with broken headlights. Officers stopped the vehicle, but it was slow to stop. When officers talked to the driver, identified as 27-year-old Selena Anderson of Huntingburg, they saw that she showed signs of impairment. An OWI investigation was conducted, and Anderson tested positive for illegal narcotics. Anderson was arrested and charged with OWI with a passenger under the age of 18, a level 6 felony, OWI endangerment, a Class A misdemeanor, as well as OWI, a Class C misdemeanor. A South Carolina man was arrested in Gibson County after resisting police. Around 2 a.m. Wednesday morning, Indiana State Troopers noticed a vehicle swerving in and out of lanes on US 41. When officers tried to stop the vehicle, the driver, later identified as 41-year-old Eric Briggs of Enori, South Carolina, continued on. Officers eventually had deployed stop sticks, which did put an end to the pursuit. Briggs struggled with officers for a bit, but he was taken to Gibson County Jail, where he was charged with a level 6 felony count of resisting law enforcement with a vehicle, a Class A misdemeanor count of resisting law enforcement, as well as an outstanding failure to appear warrant out of Vanderburgh County. A number of novel coronavirus cases continues to drop in Dubois County. The Indiana State Department of Health reported no new deaths and 8 additional cases on Wednesday. This brings the county-wide total of COVID-19 cases to 5,876 and 111 deaths since the pandemic began in March of 2020. The county's 7-day rolling average for all positive tests is 3.3%. To see a breakdown of the county's COVID-19 cases by age group and for more information, visit coronavirus.in.gov. Dubois County is now at a yellow advisory level for COVID-19. This means that the overall size of a social gathering or event is strongly recommended to be limited to 100 people. Social gatherings and events are limited to a 50% of the facility capacity if event organizers submit a written safety plan to the local health department. The county's weekly score was also updated to blue on Wednesday. It will remain in the yellow advisory level requirements. Whenever a county's metric score rises to a higher color category, that county is moved to a more restrictive advisory level. When a county meets the metric score of a less restrictive color category, it must remain in the less restrictive color for 2 consecutive weeks to be allowed to move down to the lower advisory level. For this reason, a county's advisory level can be different than its current weekly score. The Indiana Department of Health has announced that Hoosiers aged 60 and older can now get the COVID-19 vaccine. This makes the vaccine available to 432,000 more Hoosiers. Due to the limited supply of the vaccine, Indiana healthcare workers, first responders, and those most vulnerable to COVID-19 have been prioritized. To schedule a vaccine, visit ourshot.in.gov and select a location from one of more than 370 clinics around the state. Hoosiers who do not have a computer or cell phone, or those who need assistance scheduling an appointment, can call 211 or contact one of Indiana's area agencies on aging. A popular fundraising effort has been put off for another year. Old National Bank is postponing their 100 Cooks Who Care event, formerly known as 100 Men Who Cook, to Saturday, September 10th of 2022. This will help the bank and sponsors keep everyone safe during the pandemic and allow the time and fundraising capability to run a successful event in 2022 for Crisis Connection and Mentors for Youth. If you would like to donate to the organizations, visit crisisconnection.com/donate or mentorsforyouth.com/donate. A bill to combat human trafficking and expand protections for young Hoosier victims is moving to the Senate. House Bill 1200 was authored by State Representative Wendy McNamara and was supported by the Indiana House of Representatives this week. The current law requires Hoosiers 15 years old or older at the time of trial to testify in court. McNamara's proposal would allow survivors 14 years old or younger at the time of their assault to submit a video statement for court procedures if they are less than 18 at the time of the trial. The bill would also increase sentencing for perpetrators whose victims are less than 18 years old and require local organizations or agencies to report investigations of human trafficking to the Indiana Attorney General's office. Currently, individuals who offer to or pay for sex acts can only be prosecuted with a level 5 felony if they pay the trafficker directly. But law enforcement says it's difficult to prosecute suspects because a majority of transactions occur between the perpetrator and the victim. Under McNamara's proposal, a person could be convicted of the felony regardless of whether they pay the victim or the trafficker directly. The bill now moves to the Indiana Senate for consideration. Indiana University plans to hold in-person spring commencements at all of its campuses, but officials say only graduates will be allowed to attend. The university canceled 2020 spring commencements early in the coronavirus pandemic, but IU President Michael A. McRobbie announced Monday that in-person commencements are expected to return in May at all of IU's campuses due to the school's success in keeping its campuses and communities safe in the nation's progress in fighting the pandemic. While graduates can attend the planned commencements, IU officials say their family and friends are invited to attend those ceremonies virtually. A bill approved by the state Senate could make it easier to issue tickets for school bus stop arm violations and increase penalties for those disobeying the law. The measure, authored by Republican Senator Rick Niemeyer, would allow police to send a citation to the registered owner of a vehicle that illegally passes a stop school bus without an officer directly witnessing the violation. Current law requires a law enforcement officer to identify the driver of the vehicle and recommend that person can be charged with a misdemeanor crime. Under Niemeyer's plan, violations could instead be captured by stop arm cameras affixed to school buses, which can document the license plate of an offending vehicle. Old National Bank recently received an award they've been winning for a decade. The bank has been recognized by the Ethisphere Institute, a global leader in defining and advancing the standards of ethical business practices, as one of the 2021 world's most ethical companies. Old National has been recognized with the award for 10 consecutive years and is one of only 5 honorees in the banking industry. 135 honorees were recognized in 2021, spanning over 22 counties and 47 industries. For a full list of the 2021 world's most ethical companies, visit worldsmostethicalcompanies.com/honorees. Stay tuned. Weather and sports are still to come on WJTS News.